This Coach of the Year and Comeback Player of the Year edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Shady Rays. SGPN is teaming up with Shady Rays for Shady May. Get 50% off your Shady Rays using promo code SGPN, and then go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady for your chance to win $500.
Hey, this is Pac-Man Jones. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
I love the chat already, pointing out that the NFL is in fact king.
ZD Mills in the chat saying NFL is king. We got our NFL pod today, just knocking out some more NFL futures. Good. It's an easy way to bring up the NFL. There's some NFL news we got to hit on, react to, and then tomorrow morning we'll be back live, youtube.com/sports gambling podcast, talking NBA picks with our NBA guys as well. So full slate, Ryan.
Versatile. They would say 5 tools. Maybe.
5-tool player.
We can find the third, fourth, and fifth
my
tool.
Florida Panthers play is looking pretty good. You and Let It Slide over there. Ryan Gilbert tried to talk me into the Maple Leafs and wanted no part of those Maple Leafs. Knew the Maple Leafs always fall in the spring, Ryan. The Leafs fall in the spring in Canada. They got their Super Bowl win, aka getting past the first round. Now maybe they come back.
The Leafs and the Knicks both like metaphorically celebrated the fuck out of that first round.
They really did.
Well, both metaphorically and literally.
They were doing whatever the Canadian equivalent of rioting is. Overturning their maple syrup jars and throwing poutine everywhere.
Yeah, poutine's an interesting one, Sean.
Poutine's delicious. Love a good poutine, and love talking hockey. We'll get to hockey, but let's get to it. We'll talk a little NFL news, but again, we're breaking down Coach of the Year prop and NFL Comeback Player of the Year. The one news item that really jumped out at me was. Now they claim it's not, but there's a news item out there that the Washington Commanders are being accused by the Indianapolis Colts of tampering with Andrew Luck.
What do you mean? Allegedly, the owner tweeted it.
Who?
Jim Irsay.
Oh yes, Jim Irsay.
Yeah, he tweeted it.
No, Jim Irsay is saying that the Commanders. He's alleging
indirectly. He's saying if anyone spoke to Andrew Luck, it would be clear violation of tampering.
And they said supposedly Andrew Luck's camp said they had not been communicating with anyone. But I was trying to do the math. Who is in Andrew Luck's camp? Is it his roommate at the youth hostel? Like who is the guy? Hasn't played in years. Like he hasn't made any public appearance. Well, who is the person you go to talk to Andrew Luck?
Well, everyone when you leave the country, you got your in-country guy. Okay. So and then that's probably a pager. So they called a guy who then paged Andrew Luck. So I mean, I guess if pager still counts. Maybe some Morse code was sent. I just think there was a guy like you called a guy like in Connecticut, and that guy then phoned for Andrew Luck. So there was an intermediary. I don't think anyone's guilty here. Otherwise, our commissioner would have gotten to the bottom.
Well, but then how does Irsay get fired up about this, Ryan? And also
Irsay is the original troll. He realizes Jerry Jones is near death, and he's going to have to take the baton of the guy who's
official NFL troll,
who's fake alpha.
The idea of the Washington Commanders going, you know what? We want nothing to do with Lamar Jackson. You know who we're in on? Andrew Luck, a guy who has not played for like, what has it been? Like 5-6 years?
It's been crazy to think about how long it has been.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the same weekend that we saw, I'm maybe merging years.
Just remember him getting booed as he ran off the field preseason. 2018 was his last season. Went 10-6.
If that happened, imagine if that happened today. A player just shows all this strength and retires right before the season
He
to pursue his worldly interests, and the crowd, these heathens, these mouth breathers in Indy, they're booing him.
If there's any NFL player that has a landline, I think it might be Andrew Luck.
A landline.
ZD Mills is probably onto something with the house phone there. But yeah, I mean, that would be the fact that they're even considering. I thought they're all in on Sam Howell. Why would you think of digging up Andrew Luck? That to me is just crazy. A guy who clearly doesn't want to play football, in spite of the fact that like every year he played, they were pretty much a playoff team or near playoff team. The fact that he just checked out of it is crazy. And he was the his last year of the season. He was actually he was in what did he get?
His last year of his career.
Yes.
I think the part that's tough is that, you know, when we look back, it's like, all right, cool, you can retire.
Yes, he did get comeback player of the year the last year of playing.
Why are you dragging your team around? That's what I don't get. I'll never understand why he waited till the end of preseason. That kind of feels like a cowardly act.
Yeah, I mean, I guess his defense is that I think he would say it's that he got that late ankle injury, but like it didn't even sound like the ankle injury was going to be that crazy, right?
Yeah, I don't know. All
right. Let's see. What do we want to do first? Do we want to do the comeback player of the year, Ryan?
I mean,
you want to do that one first?
We should walk through all the coaches. So yeah, let's do comeback player of the year.
All right, we'll start with comeback player of the year. Before we do that, of course, shout out to Shady Rays. Woo-hoo, got my Shady Rays. Been pretty hot in the NBA picking games. Need my future so bright in NBA handicapping. Need these shades to take care of them. Again, summer, you're going outdoors, hiking, out on the lake. Get your shades out on the lake. And what ruins a trip more than losing your sunglasses? It's just brutal. Thanks to Shady Rays, though, you don't have to worry about it. Awesome lost and replacement policy. Again, if you lose your Shady Rays, they will send you a new pair, no questions asked. Again, Shady Rays, you look cool, you feel cool, great. The polarized glasses are just badass. These are, and again, they're cheap sunglasses as far as how much they cost, but they're not cheap in quality at all. Premium shades at a great price, and even better price when you use the promo code SGPN. Get your 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. ShadyRays.com, promo code SGPN, and of course, once you order those shades, enter our contest. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/shady for your chance to win the $500 Shady May contest. And shout out to England. I know they do ship to England. I'm not sure about Canada. I'll have to look that up. But again, if you're an England listener, congrats on the new king, and congrats on the Shady Rays.
Maybe the king is a listener. Ever think about that?
I assume he was. Yeah.
I assume Mal and Barry are big shots over there. So yes. Why wouldn't the king be listening?
Support them. I like it.
Premier League gambling podcast.
Check that out.
Yeah, I mean, look. Speaking of England, just wild ass shit. I will never understand people that get into that shit like it's a sports team. Never. All right. Comeback player of the year. Although this would be an excellent event for the royal family. Comeback player of the year. I really thought you were going there with the Shady Rays. I mean, get your own summer comeback on the Shady Rays.
Oh yes, the ultimate comeback.
I'm not the writer of the bunch, but I mean, Demar Hamlin -750. I guess we have to address this as like, this is option A and then the field essentially is option B. I'm not going to run through the entire list. We can throw out names who like,
well, Hamlin -750, I think is an amazing price considering how low the bar is. We are not a podcast.
What is the bar?
He has to take a snap. If he takes a snap, he is automatically comeback.
Is that all he has to do?
Yeah. What did Demar Hamlin do before? You don't know.
I mean, I see that he socializes with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
No, but
now, which feels a little interesting here.
What did he?
Was this all a setup? Was this all a inside job? Why is he hanging out with T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Tyler Boyd after the fact?
Easy.
Celebrating the job.
Easy is in the YouTube chat agreeing. How is it not Hamlin? If he walks on the field, he gets it 100%.
I tend to agree with you. Now, can we at least discuss some people that aren't Demar Hamlin?
Yeah, sure.
Because
tout about your you already have a ticket.
That's not exact.
Oh,
that's
okay.
not what I was gonna. We were gonna discuss that as well.
Okay.
But amongst that, and I'll just go down the board now. Russell Wilson is the second favorite with Sam Darnold. Russell Wilson is completely not eligible. No one likes him.
Very unlikable.
You have to at least have pity for this to work. Sam Darnold, which by the way, I have a 66-1 in my pocket. No big deal. He's down to 10-1. This does make sense. He's got the sad puppy dog eyes. People will feel bad for him. And it's San Francisco who are the favorite to win the conference. So if Sam Darnold wins the conference, does he win comeback player of the year? Because it's a better price than 350.
Is Demar Hamlin? Is Demar Hamlin? I don't even think Demar Hamlin.
You're fading two things. You're fading it would suck for us as a brand because I do want to see Demar Hamlin play football before Zion Williams plays basketball. But
we're all rooting for that.
So basically, you're fading. So Demar Hamlin doesn't play because whatever condition he has, they decide maybe this isn't great. Maybe there's something in the recovery.
But on all accounts, he's on
he's
progress.
cleared. I agree. Now, I would ask you, since we saw this he was a shorter favorite in the plus side. It then got released. It went to -1,000.
Yeah.
It came down to -750. Does that mean that there's some uncertainty in his availability, or is it that what if he is so insignificant to the season? Is he on the edge of the roster bubble? Could this be a bizarro Michael Sam situation?
What?
The guy's rostered for a bit. It makes a bunch of news, but then in the end, he ends up losing his roster spot.
Oh,
was Demar Hamlin good enough?
Yeah,
to where
he
he's
was
not
playing
on the bubble?
in the game.
Well, yeah, but does that mean he wouldn't be on the roster bubble?
I think the Bills need him. I think they. I mean, he was their starting cornerback.
I just think it's worth looking at this from all angles.
I think he's making the 53-man team.
Do you think he makes it as a symbol, or do you think he's making the team because he's good at football? His contract runs through 2024. It's a rookie deal, so this is he's got 2 more years on his rookie deal. So yeah, from that perspective, you're probably right.
Yeah, he's a good price.
Okay, so that actually that makes, I don't know. I'm not betting -750. Anyway, other folks who other folks that are interested.
Oh, so you want me to take off your winning -750 bet?
Yes.
Okay.
So, like I said, I have Sam Darnold 66-1. He's now 10-1. Lamar Jackson.
How many minutes was Sam Darnold dead on the field last season?
He wasn't.
Okay.
He wasn't.
All right.
But you understand what I'm doing. I'm saying what
I get devil's advocate. And
what if Demar all right. So if Demar Hamlin gets hurt, when does he have to get hurt and miss the rest of the season? How much of this? So you're saying if he plays
snap.
week one gets
snap.
hurt for the season, week one
snap.
he locks up the award.
One snap.
Which, by the way,
and even if it was just preseason, I think he's good.
Almost feel. I mean, it has Italian job vibes. The way that he's hanging out with T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. It's just Instagram posting. Why are they doing that? Other guys that stood out to me. If you're a Trey, someone's going to tell you Trey Lance 25-1's a good bet for the same reason I told you Sam Darnold, because
that's insane.
The conference price is different. Some Kyler Murray not going to play enough. I did bet John Mechie because cancer could potentially be strong enough to overcome heart attack.
I would take John Mechie offensive player of the year, I think, before
comeback
player of the year.
Well,
because I think
probably 1,000,000 to 1 is better than 28-1.
Well, I think the way he wins comeback player of the year, you have to be so good.
Yeah.
For his comeback story to be better than Hamlin's.
All right. That's fair. Calvin Ridley, no one's going to vote for him. He bet on the game. Baker Mayfield, no one's going to vote for him. He's not very liked. Tua, people are going to feel bad and not want to give him any sort of award that makes them feel like he would play more football, because then they'll feel responsible for his head injury.
The blood is on their hands.
So he's off the table. I also bet on Beckham, Odell.
Oh my God. Ryan.
But this is purely because, and you hate it, but he becomes the fucking epicenter of whatever conversation. So if he's having an electric season, and maybe you're right, maybe he's the guy you bet offensive player of the year on. But if he's having an electric season, this price is definitely going to come down from 40 to 1. Other than that, it's a bunch of guys who actually got hurt. A guy like Carson Wentz at 66 to 1, who's not on a roster. Anyone else stand out? Yeah, Zach Wilson 100 to 1, another guy that's
again, the formula for him to even see enough playing time to have comeback player of the year is pretty wild. To me, I'm really surprised at this price. Matt Stafford comeback player of the year at 100 to 1. I think is a pretty good price. You have the one last year with Sean McVay. You have Cooper Kupp. You have Aaron Donald on the other side. You might make a run here in the NFC West. I think they're criminally underpriced, the Rams, this year. And
really
at 100 to 1.
Well, we just saw Geno Smith in the same division do it.
Yeah,
kind of. I mean, the difference is Geno never had success before, so it was like a pity award. Whereas Matt Stafford does have both the Super Bowl and the chugging situation.
Yeah, no. I mean, so Geno Smith, I think the bar for Stafford is pretty high for him to win comeback player of the year. Comparing
That's
it
a good price though. I like it.
To Hamlin. He had a bruised spine. He's in LA. I think they could really shock the world with it. Going back, I think we should just rattle off. So Geno won it last year. Year before that, Joe Burrow again coming off the ACL. Alex Smith almost had his leg amputated.
These guys all have something in common.
Ryan Tannehill.
Wait, still they all have something in common.
And then again, Andrew Luck.
Tannehill. So Demar Hamlin's not a quarterback, Sean. Just pointing that out.
I get 100 to 1. Brian, let's
keep going.
Yeah, and then after that, Keenan Allen, Jordy Nelson, Eric Berry. Again, that was like a medical thing.
There's the defensive player.
Yeah, first defensive player, Gronk, and then we have another run of quarterbacks: Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning, Matt Stafford, Michael Vick. That's crazy. They gave Michael Vick the award, considering it's a media award.
Well, he was really good that year.
He was in the mix for MVP. Tom Brady, Chad Pennington. Got it. And then Randy Moss, Chad Pennington again. Chad Pennington had won comeback player of the year twice.
That's got to be the only time in NFL history that college teammates won comeback player of the year 3 straight years.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, just made a nugget right there.
There you go.
Stow that away
Steve
for your radio
Smith.
hits.
And then so Steve Smith going back to 2005. Ryan, let me ask you this: if you had to choose a quarterback to win comeback player of the year, I think if you just looked at the quarterbacks, to me, especially at the current price, I do think you got some massive CLV on your Darnold ticket.
I'm erect with that. Situation.
But Darnold at 10 to 1 or Stafford at 100 to 1. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean, so I guess what you're talking me into doing is adding Stafford 100 to 1 to my Darnold 10 to 1. My logic is that if the Niners are as good as the odds are telling you, and I misspoke earlier, I gave you 350 are their conference odds, right? Something along those lines. So if they're plus 350 to win the conference, I just don't see how they do that without Sam Darnold having the kind of season. Again, he will get the pity the same way that Geno got the pity.
49ers currently plus 380.
All right. So plus 380 is like way less than 10 to 1 still. And so I would imagine that Darnold will settle in as a clear second favorite. I don't think it's going to be right. I just can't like Darnold. People feel bad. Like he's been a fucking dog that's had to find all these new homes because his homes suck. Like they literally are like.
You act like that's a common.
He's
thing.
going.
Dogs who can't find their homes because their homes suck.
Well, sometimes it's because the dog sucks and they keep getting dropped off at the pound. But in Sam Darnold's case, the media wants it to not be his fault.
He's a puppy Sean, you can't learn.
If you didn't see it, he was courtside. Clay Thompson comes up to greet George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, and Sam Darnold.
Is Clay Thompson going now? Who are you?
Who does he greet first?
Sam Darnold. Dog. But what is it? I mean, there's a good chance.
Hold on, we have a clip.
According to 49ers insider Katie Mox, Trey Lance is going to be starting.
We might. We all know that's not
true. And maybe Brock Purdy gets back healthier.
He's going to get. I do think Trey Lance. They got to trade him. Like this is going to be the most hilarious storyline. And Sean, maybe we need a new 49ers insider that can be a little bit more objective with their takes. Matt Mayako.
Okay.
Take a listen to this, Sean. I think everyone should be able to hear this.
But here's the deal.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold might be the most, can I say this? The most talented thrower of the football that the 49ers have ever had.
Come on. Come on.
If you talk just
Jim Druckenmiller, come on, man.
Well, he can't.
I mean, check out the Murph and Mac show if you want to listen to the rest of that. Sean will put a link in the podcast description. But yeah,
no, I'm not doing that.
I know that was a joke. I like what is this? This is
this is incredible. Sam Darnold Kool-Aid.
Well, guess what else? Guess what else Matt has done in the past?
What?
Been very complimentary about the front office.
Yeah.
Ever heard of a plant? This guy is
he is clearly putting out some info to.
That being said,
also like as a media guy, what has he seen of Sam Darnold in a 49ers uniform? Like they haven't even done OTAs yet, though.
They had some practice. They had some practice sessions.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean, the Eagles haven't had anything yet.
Like practice sessions.
Yeah, like the Giants have done some stuff at the facility.
Like rookie teams. Stuff,
I mean, again, super teams might be off training on their own.
No, yeah, I mean we're on a different schedule when you get to the Super Bowl.
You went deep in the playoffs. I would put the different schedule in place too. Makes sense. Look, Sean, you have to admit that like it wasn't George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, and Brock Purdy at the Warriors game.
No,
Trey Lance wasn't at
in that clip.
The Warriors game.
What clip were we listening to where 49ers fans were concerned because Brock Purdy was high-fiving people with his arm
at the baseball game? Apparently, he was caught on tape high-fiving someone, and the fan base is much like Katie. They're very concerned because, again, Brock Purdy has said himself he doesn't know if he's going to play this season. Why are people still thinking Sean, when that, or make a note in your calendar over there, when the market opens of 49ers, who will be the 49ers starting quarterback week 1?
Oh yeah.
Sam Darnold is going to be
What do you think the prices are going to be?
Because all the dumb Niner fans, no offense to the ones that I know personally, but it's Sam Darnold. Like, and you're also, this Kyle Shanahan, Sean, this is your favorite part of Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
I'm better than you. Oh, their third string quarterback's gonna be Trey Lance this year in the postseason. That's my prediction. Trey Lance, is
emergency quarterback. Trey Lance.
Is anyone else on the list? It gets fairly deep as we go down. I mean, Lamar. I don't really know what he'd be coming back from, but like a long off season of negotiating his own contract because he chose to represent himself, not to prove a point, but to get what's right. I don't know if you read his tweet. Fairly self-right. I do like Lamar, but also like, come on, dude. Kyler Murray's not going to play enough. You mentioned the quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield. I guess they're Baker.
Well, Baker at 33-1 compared to Stafford at 100.
Tua, they're never going to reward someone coming back from CTE.
Stafford had a spine injury. He was out most of the most of the season.
A pre-retirement injury.
Well, and we actually have Ryan. We actually got an update on Stafford. They did an interview, seeing how he has been recovering.
Called the F line, right?
From the injury.
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
Oh, I love Mike Tyson.
He broke his spinal.
Fucking national treasure. Carson Wentz, Zach Wilson's more quarterbacks. You scratch those guys off the list. Matt Stafford, like you said,
ding ding ding.
Yeah, and then any other unlisted quarterbacks that
no
interest you at all?
No.
Any other players? Period. Allen Robinson, 200-1.
No. No, because I think Stafford's the only one that can do enough that would possibly overshadow Demar Hamlin. That to me is
the Chad Serial wants to know if Zeke potential candidate. I don't think they list players not on NFL rosters.
No, Weight Watchers maybe comeback player of the year. Hey, I'm Zeke and I'm coming back to my ideal weight.
Oh, I can see it now. You isolate Zeke jumping into the that big red bin, the donation bin,
the Salvation Army.
You turn that into like the Weight Watchers, like jumping into Weight Watchers.
He's going in on his journey. Easy as throwing Andrew Luck comeback player of the year. That would be.
I thought he was coaching now. I think I think he might have fallen into youth sports. I can appreciate
there is one guy not listed on here, Ryan.
Really? Let me guess. Philadelphia Eagles.
Nope.
Oh. I'd love to hear it. I did only source these odds from one location, so
man by the name.
Or maybe this is a big joke.
Now maybe they wouldn't give it to him, but I do think
this is gonna.
I do think there's a chance. A decent chance. Tom Brady. We're talking about the 49ers quarterback situation. Tom Brady ends up as a 49ers quarterback. No. I mean, all right, there's already been a report that he was considering not taking the Fox job. He says it's bullshit. He says a lot of things. I'm the fact that there's enough heat around it.
Pause, Sean.
To me suggests put it this way: if you're completely all in on his Fox broadcasting job, how does this story ever even become a story?
So
why was he not at the Fox meeting, Ryan?
So occasionally I wake up in the middle of the night and I get some really good deep dives done. And the one I deep dived was that Fox, the broadcast team for Fox NFL, had some sort of offsite in Vegas. Fucking Michael Vick was there. Terry Bradshaw was there. Jimmy Johnson was there. Michael Strahan was there. Aaron Andrews was there. Gronk was there. Tom Brady was not there. Greg Olsen was there. Tom Brady was not there. You would think that your A team would be there. I am starting to believe this, Sean. And if you want to use, let me know if you need the sources on that information when you start spreading this conspiracy theory, because it's strong. I do think the idea that Tom Brady didn't too good to show up with his new team. Tom Brady's a team first guy. Always the team first guy. Took less money for the team. Usually.
Come on, if he was why is he not broadcasting job, why would we be getting these rumors?
Do you know
how be getting these rumors?
Do you know how important team building activities are for these types of organizations? Do you know how long someone planned this and Tom Brady just didn't show?
Right.
Gronk didn't have a partner for the trust fall.
Ryan, the trade's announced. Trey Lance and a 4th rounder go to Tampa Bay. They get the rights to Tom
rounder.
Brady.
Is that just to make it sound more real?
Yeah, because they would be negotiating some bullshit like late round pick there.
No, and then there'd be like a 7th round pick swap in 2025.
Round 7.
I mean, I like it. How do we get it written in?
I want to reach out to someone who makes lines. Will Tom Brady take a snap this year? And see if we can get.
Why wouldn't they
get it listed?
That? Why wouldn't they do that?
Because they're scared that I'm an NFL insider. You are talking to the guy who multiple outlets named the greatest mock drafter of 2023. Right?
Well, it's not. It wasn't this isn't like gymnastics where they give you like judges.
No,
this is objective,
analytical, quantitative score.
Well, transparently tracked. Darren Waller 50-1. Is that interesting to you?
No.
The recovery story.
No, I don't think Darren Waller is going to be good.
Gets traded over his wedding weekend. The heartlessness of the Raiders franchise.
All right, should we move on to coach of the year?
Well, hold on. I have an announcement. The 10-1 I found was from Bet Online. DraftKings still has 60-1 for Sam Darnold.
Oh, okay.
You should bet that, John. Even you should bet that.
No.
Really?
No.
You don't want a small piece at 60-1.
No, I don't see it. I'm getting down on my Stafford bet, Ryan.
They're the conference favorites. He's going to be the starting quarterback. All right. Coach of the year.
Before we do that, Ryan, shout out to Talkify. Oh man. Talkify is, hey, life is full of what ifs. So what if you trying something new when it comes to dating? Again, you got to mix it up, right? If you haven't had luck previously, Talkify is your solution. It's a new way to meet other serious singles, and they can help you find what you're looking for. Think about it. Like the first date is always, a lot of times it goes really bad. Again, that's why you're And that's why you're out in the dating scene, because if the first date didn't go well, second date's not going to go well. It just doesn't go great from there. That's why Talkify is the number one a modern matchmaking service designed to help you achieve relationship success. And what's great about Talkify is they do the pre-interview, they do all the heavy lifting. And again, the Talkify matchmakers, you want to talk about lead pipe lock. Listen to these stats for Talkify. 80% of their clients met their person within the first 12 matches. Again, if you're a single guy, maybe you're just in the lab grinding player props all the time, you need a plus EV opportunity. You need someone else to do the heavy lifting when it comes to your data analysis of your dating life. Let them do the lifting, all that work you don't want to do. Again, the matchmaker hooks you up. They plans your date introductions, handles all the communications, creating a safe and stress-free dating experience. Again, if you're looking for a little action, Talkify is the place to go. And Talkify is offering our listeners 20% off when you become a client at Talkify.com/SGPN. That's TAWKIFY.com/SGPN for 20% off when you become a client. Talkify.com/SGPN. Easy suggesting you rock your Shady Rays in your Talkify profile. Guaranteed match. I like his logic.
Yes, members of the opposite sex or whatever you desire will desire Shady Rays. See what I did there, Sean? That was a statement for everyone.
That's a very inclusive statement.
Yeah, well, you got children. You got to start adjusting.
Let's rattle off the previous Coach of the Year winners real quick.
Let's do it.
Brian Dable, of course, won last year.
Great victory.
Mike Vrabel year before. Kevin Stefanski, John Harbaugh, Matt Nagy, Sean McVay, Jason Garrett, Ron Rivera, 2-time winner. Bruce Arians, 2-time winner there. Ron Rivera for the Panthers again. Bruce Arians again. Jim Harbaugh, Bill Belichick won it 2010. Marvin Lewis, 2009. Mike Smith all the way back in 2008. Bill Belichick. Belichick's won it 3 times. And then
feels like not enough.
Sean Payton there in 2006. Lovie Smith rounding it out. 2005. Marty Schottenheimer 2004. Bill Belichick his first time. Andy Reid only won it once, and that's going back to 2002. Feels like a pretty encompassing list. Ryan, do you know of the Coach of the Year award winners?
Yes.
Do you know since 1991 who has had the worst record of the Coach of the Year winners?
Oh, I assume you have this information because the answer is Brian Dable.
Brian Dable, 9-7-1, worst record. Although Bruce Arians was 9-3, but again, obviously, worst record. Jimmy Johnson got it. Only head coach to get it with a losing record. Got it with 7-9 in 1990. But again, that was of course coming off there. I'm pretty sure they were 1-15 the year before.
Yeah, they were trash. Those were good seasons when the Cowboys were just basement dwelling. They were the original tankers. Who knew? All right. Well, we'll go bottom to the top because part of me thinks you said Bruce Arians 2 times. What if Bruce Arians comes back? Could he get a third one this year?
Is he even listed?
No. Todd Bowles is 75-1.
Okay,
but that's pretty low. That kind of indicates that he could get replaced by Bruce Arians.
So there is a formula here, real quick, for head coaches. It really favors first-time head coaches, and you really have to have a pretty good number of wins over previous year. It really has to. And again, kind of surprising that Dable ended up getting it because normally you have to win. How many games did the Giants win in 2021?
4 or 5.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah. So you pretty much, they were 4-13. So you pretty much have to win 5 or 6 more games than the previous year. So I think that's a great. If your Coach of the Year pick doesn't have a realistic opportunity to win 5 or 6 more games than the previous year, I think you're really in trouble. Like Sean Payton, we'll get to him. Obviously, he's the favorite because of how bad the Broncos were, and his ceiling of getting to what they did last year is not that crazy, right?
So no, I guess we'll talk about it. But Sean McDermott, Mike McCarthy, 50-1. I mean, honestly, like Todd Bowles actually, does Todd Bowles not potentially Does Todd Bowles fit any model? Because this team is going to have very low expectations, but they won the division last year, so he's completely written off, right?
I don't know. You're right. He is in a weird spot.
But if they win, if they go back-to-back division winner with all of that turnover,
I think you make an exception here for Todd Bowles, because if he wins, winning the division at 8-9 with Tom Brady is not impressive. But
with Baker Mayfield,
if they go 10-7 with Mayfield and Trask, or 11-6,
I guess I'm shocked his price is all the way down here. But McDermott and McCarthy, I don't see how either of these guys. I don't understand their path to, other than like an undefeated season, their path to victory.
Well, yeah, and the Cowboys are 12-5. So,
what were the Bills? 13-4. They didn't play all the games.
Yeah, 13-3. So they were both, to your point, really good up there, really high up there, and it's just going to be tough.
Would have to be near perfection. 40-1 candidates: Pete Carroll, Jonathan Gannon, Kevin Stefanski, Nick Sirianni, Josh McDaniels, Ron Rivera. Sirianni had his chance. It happened already.
Yeah, because they went from 9-7 to 13-4. Again, maybe if they end up going 15-2 or something like that, maybe they would have got it. Because at some point if you're that dominant, but now coming off a 13-4 season where you almost won the Super Bowl, you've already gotten the credit for turning Jalen Hurts into an MVP candidate. So Pete
Carroll, Stefanski, they kind of had their shocking step up years.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think Pete Carroll's year might have come back.
Already happened. So you're down to Rivera, McDaniels, and Gannon. It seems like Arizona's openly talking about tanking at this point.
Gannon, I'm just out on as a head coach. Period.
Yeah, I will say
McDaniels,
Josh McDaniels. Having the division is so tough.
Yeah.
So much it just feels like there's added legs in the parlay, and they won 6 games last year. They'd
have to go. I think they'd have to go 11-6.
The Giants are the example. They won. I mean, it wasn't a new coach, but the Giants came in 3rd place in the division. Brian Dable still won the award.
Yeah, 1-5.
They made the playoffs. I mean, I don't see the Raiders as a playoff team, but I could see. Is this price better than them to make the playoffs? Absolutely. So maybe that's the angle here. Maybe but no one likes him.
No,
they cross him off.
Yeah, Dable got the New York media boost.
Rivera.
I mean, Rivera's already won it twice. I don't think he's gonna win it a third time.
Sam Howell be the truth? I'm not going there. All right.
Again, they were 8-1, so they'd have to really. You're talking about 13. They weren't bottom dwellers last year, so that for them to make a jump.
But they were 4th place in their division. I think they would get an added bump from just they were last place in that.
Yeah,
that's
I
a
guess
narrative
if they won
there.
The
last
division.
Place wouldn't be the first time it happened in the division. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like he'd be a sexy pick. There'd have to be a lot of other coaches not doing well. All right, 33-1. Staley. Brandon Staley, Brian Dable, Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel, Sean McVay. Certainly, if Vrabel is able to drag this team to a division title, there could be some buzz there.
I think Vrabel's pretty.
So at 33-1, he's already won it. That's potentially a tick against. They don't seem to love to give out repeat victors.
Titans are 7-10. If they go 11-6. And again, shock the world by taking down the Jags, who are a huge favorite in that division. I think he's definitely in the mix here. And again, I also
think Vrabel.
I also think Vrabel's just my own personal thing. I think Vrabel is a good coach.
Do you also like McVay? If you like Stafford, although the price with Stafford was much better.
Yeah, I don't know. At 33-1, I feel like, I think he certainly is in the mix. I think I would just take some of these other bets before I would take McVay Coach of the Year.
Belichick, Dable, Staley.
So Brandon Staley is just a no for me because I think they
brought in a new offensive coordinator. So if things get better, there's someone else.
He's lost so much credibility, and it's hard if you're already an existing playoff team. I think it's hard. Now Belichick, again, he actually brought in an offensive coordinator instead of Joe Judge.
Genius decision by
Joe
Bill.
Judge and Matt Patricia, coach of the offense.
But this is tough because they're the 4th best team in the division, and they already won 8 games last year. Like they would, they would have to. They already seem like they're not dying to give it to Belichick anyway.
They're kind of like in the Commanders area where it would have to be a dominant season. Like you'd probably better be off taking Mac Jones like MVP or something crazy.
All right, next up we got a group at 28-1: Shane Steichen, Doug Peterson, Kevin O'Connell, and Andy Reid. Andy Reid's not going to ever get the award.
No.
This like in this kind of year. Man,
I love Shane Steichen.
Yeah, but I mean, so where are they? So they were 4-12-1 last year.
I mean, because the Shane Steichen and the Colts, and this is probably my favorite. I mean, we'll go through the rest of the list, but it's tough for me to beat this one because it's a situation where you're coming in. All you got to do is not. They don't even have to win the division, I don't think, for him to get Coach of the Year. This reminds me of
got to make the playoffs.
Brian Dable. I think.
Well, you have to make the playoffs.
I think 9-8. Even if 9-8, even if they don't make the playoffs, I think they're in.
I certainly like I love the narrative of playing someone else in the division that's not the Jags.
Yeah, I love Steichen at 28-1.
You're putting so much.
I think Steichen's a good play caller. I think you can see enough at Anthony Richardson. Maybe Minshew wins you a couple games.
I appreciate your homerism here.
No, this is less about homerism. Just look at first year head coaches. First year head coaches are usually in the mix here, and the rest of the coaching class, I don't see a better situation right now than Shane Steichen.
Well, here's my angle.
Because of I don't think the Jags are as good as.
What if the Jags are and they they have this easy ass schedule and they're the 1 seed and they're like it's a similar like 28-1 is way better than -160. 28-1.
Doug P's not getting it.
You don't think there's a chance?
No.
If they get the 1 seed?
Nope.
Really? Why do you say that?
I think
they go 14-3 because they're easy ass schedule and get the 1 seed.
Maybe I think I would rather take Trevor Lawrence MVP than Doug Peterson Coach of the Year. I think Doug Peterson they didn't give it.
What year is he in?
What do you mean?
What year is he in coaching the Jags?
Oh, second year.
Second year.
Yeah.
What's the win increase he needs?
He needs like 6 probably because they already made the playoffs last year. They already won a playoff game last year.
They needed to lose that game.
I think if they would have lost that game, I think he would have had a better come from. They're the favorites, I think, which is tough for them. I see what you're saying.
It's an interesting
price. If they go,
I like it better than Steichen. I'll say that.
Really?
I don't think they're going to be good. I just don't think they're going to like. I guess I could be shocked.
Well, most of the time, a first-year head coach is going to a shitty team, and that's why you have the value on these.
Brian Dable getting maximum extraction out of a 4th-year quarterback is a little different than a developmental quarterback coming in and
sure, but again, the expectations are so low. So again, and he could win ugly with like running the ball a bunch and like completing 10
But
passes
the Colts
a
and
game.
the Giants were equally bad the year before. You remember the 3rd down quarterback sneak, right?
Yeah.
You remember Joe Judge.
Oh, I know.
Okay, yeah. So I think
I'm just saying Steichen getting the 9 wins, I think at that price is tempting. And I'm in on
25-1. Here we go. Arthur Smith, John Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin. Did they dare to give it to Tomlin?
Yeah, I know we're always in on Tomlin, but again,
they won 9 games last year.
Yeah.
Stefanski's probably the best play in the division, but I would never make that play if you're looking to. All right, so Arthur Smith obviously is, I'm at least going to raise my eyebrow at this one, Sean. What do you like better, them to win the division or Arthur Smith to be Coach of the Year? Part of me
Falcons.
Part of me wonders if Arthur Smith is Coach of the Year material. I'd probably have to pass here. Harbaugh's
but you think you still like Atlanta to win the division?
Yeah, but I mean, again, the bump and win, like the win ceiling, they won 7 last year, finished in last place in the division, won 7 games though. So I think the idea of them winning the division with 9, maybe 10 wins is okay.
But yeah, that's not enough. To
I
your
don't
point,
think-
I don't think that's enough bump to trigger coach of the year.
I also get a vibe that people don't like Arthur Smith.
Yeah,
like he's off. Like, why put out a story about how he interviewed this fucking rookie? You're gonna. I mean, yeah, it just seems like people don't like Arthur Smith. All right, Zach Taylor 22-1 by himself, no chance, right?
No.
All right, 20-1. D'Amico Ryans, Frank Reich, Robert Saleh, Mike McDaniel. Obviously, if Carolina does well, this is a shoo-in because of how much everyone sucks this guy's dick. It's gotten out of control. It truly has.
No,
Frank Reich knew it was Bryce Young when he saw him make a play in his 9th ever pass attempt in 2019. It was a meaningless crossing route, but the way he read his progressions and navigated the pocket, it told him he was the one.
I mean, I know you're making fun of him, but
Yoda.
that kind of makes me like the Frank Reich.
What quarterback did he have success with over the last 5 years?
No, but Ryan, the point more so is to just show. I think what kind of killed the Panthers was they finished strong. They ended up 7-10.
What if this guy isn't the best coach everyone thinks he is? What if the Bible isn't the best reading material for everyone? All right.
I don't know. Panthers are 7-10. I think. I mean, you're making fun of Frank Reich, but I think that's actually a point in his favor for getting this award. How much the media and everyone loves him.
No, I'm saying if the Panthers have a decent season, I guess the weird thing for me is they're the second favorite to win the division.
Yeah, and I think they have to get in the playoffs with like 9-8, 10-7, which is tough.
They're gonna go back. Here's my problem with the Panthers.
So again, comparing this to Shane Steichen,
he's got a lower bar.
Yeah, Steichen has a 3-win difference. Like again, all you have to do is beat what you did previously. So 4-12, I think. Like just the formula. Steichen to get to 8 wins.
You mean D'Amico Ryans?
D'Amico Ryans.
I'll play D'Amico Ryans like you played Shane Steichen. It's the same angle.
Yeah.
It's the exact same angle. Can you win the division and make the playoffs?
Well, I don't think either team has to win the division, and they might not have to make the playoffs.
Maybe you're right. Maybe if they look really good and they're on the right path. I'd rather strap my wagon to CJ Stroud in year 1 than AR-15.
Well, no, and you're right. And again, Texans were 3-13-1. So if they get to 9, that's a little bit more impressive than the Colts at 4-12-1 technically.
Plus,
and maybe also the problem is I think
I don't want my Texans having to give up a good pick to the Cardinals.
CJ Stroud was the number 1 overall pick, so I think that slightly hurts you. Like you may get a lot of rookie of the year stuff and not coach of the year stuff.
Well, Bryce Young might be the rookie of the year.
That's true too. Oh no, and CJ Stroud was number 2 overall.
But I do think that people will they'll remember how CJ Stroud was wrong before the draft by Brady Quinn.
That's why I think the case for Steichen is that more appealing. He's taking the 3rd quarterback drafted and turned them into a playoff team. That's coach of the year material. And I think Shane Steichen was a really good play caller.
Okay.
No, I mean
you remember the conversations we had about AR-15. He has
right. No, AR-15 could be a complete bust, and you lose
could
28-1.
All right, next up, Kyle Shanahan 16-1. Get out of here.
They're the favorites in the NFC.
Well, I mean that should make you whatever. Dan Campbell 14-1. God, people like this. This is just
after letting his players get suspended for gambling. Come on.
1 seed. What do they need? 1 seed, right?
Although they haven't made the playoffs, so them making the playoffs.
If they win the division, make the playoffs, like
they win a playoff game. Yeah.
Does that matter? Playoff games don't matter, right?
I forget when they vote, but even if they don't include them, they probably quietly include them.
Well, then you should have mentioned that with Dable, because that means Steichen will have to win a playoff game. If you're including,
I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. Okay. No. I'm trying to think.
I think it is too.
I'm pretty sure it's regular.
It should. I don't know why they exclude the most important part of the season.
It's like MVP.
Yeah, it's a regular season award. Do you have to spread? Is Dan Campbell
not at 14-1?
Dennis Allen 12-1. What the fuck is this? I don't understand this at all. I don't understand this at all.
I don't get it. I don't think he'll get much credit if they do well because it's still like Sean Payton's team. You're bringing in a quarterback.
Oh yeah, it's just I know they're the favorites to win the division, but Dennis Allen's not winning shit. And by the way, how many wins did they have last year, Sean? They had 7.
Yeah,
it's going to be
a tough middle road.
Matt LaFleur, the Packers. This is interesting. They hate Aaron Rodgers. I would love to give.
I mean, you could talk me into a Matt LaFleur Coach of the Year, but I have not at 12-1. That price is insane.
Yeah.
And what are you talking about? One, Jordan Love didn't pass the eye test anywhere close. So, all right, fine.
He's gotten better though. Haven't you read the report?
No, if Matt LaFleur was 25 or 30-1,
the Packers need the guy that go on the podcast and be like, Jordan Love might be the best thrower of the football
I've ever
the Packers have ever had.
And also Packers were 8-9. Now, obviously that's the Rodgers record. So what is Jordan Love? Jordan Love has to be 11-6, 12-5.
No, they have to make the playoffs.
Oh, in a big way though, I think.
No, I don't think so.
Really?
You lose Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I
guess that's what they're banking on.
This is kind of the wild card team because I think there's so much hatred towards Aaron Rodgers. There's so much compassion towards this kid.
I can see to your point. I can see the price. I can see making a case for Matt LaFleur coach of the year, but not at this price. Not at 12-1.
No,
that's
but
crazy.
I do. Yeah, I do think that. I probably wouldn't bet it at 12-1. Eberflus, 11-1. I think it's probably fair that Dan Campbell, LaFleur, and Eberflus are all similarly priced because probably is it safe to say that the winner of if the team that wins the NFC North will win Coach of the Year?
No,
unless it's the Vikings. They're all priced right here 11, 12, 14-1.
No part of them. I mean, the fact that they're all favorites makes.
It's because they have an easier path to win the division. I think the division win would be such a strong statement for any of those coaches.
That's true.
And that's
probably what they're pricing in.
There's some. I mean, we played the similar division in terms of less friction. Like you got to look at the South divisions and you got to look at the NFC North. All right, Sean Payton at 8-1. He's obviously the favorite because he has he has a roster, but yeah. It seems like that the idea that Russ will not be a long-term option with the Broncos is teetering more and more terms. Like I think what percentage do you think Russell Wilson's on the roster at the start of 2024?
2024?
Yeah. So like not this season, the next season.
Let's say 50-50.
In the 50% where he's not, they've had a really bad season and he's definitely not Coach of the Year. So how can you possibly make him the favorite?
Well, I think, I mean, again, I think we're farther out on Russ maybe than the market. And I think there's some real buzz of Jared Stidham coming in.
That's not going to win you Coach of the Year.
Really?
Not in that fucking division.
Cause I think it might.
Sean,
if let's say they start out bad, walk me through this, Ryan. They start out, say 4-6, but Russ is throwing a bunch of picks. They bring in Jared Stidham off the bench.
Yeah.
They go on a 5-1 run to end. What did I say? 4-6, and then they go 5-2.
Okay, 9-8.
9-8. Make the playoffs,
and they finish in third place in their division.
Yeah, 9-8, third place in their division. You know that.
No, it's not the same.
I think turning around this Broncos franchise because of how bad it was, because the bottoms they hit with Russell Wilson, I think that's why it makes sense. At 8-1, I want no part of it.
Dead cat bounce with like the Hackett thing. That's what you're saying. The Hackett was so far beneath. Like even if Peyton is only an average coach, I think the other thing is that you don't show up and establish yourself right away. Like the reason Sean Payton was an excellent coach in New Orleans is because he was there for so long and established a certain way of doing business. You don't create that overnight. And I don't think you have that year one. I think he was a CEO more than anything else. I think he'll be able to help game plan the offense. And I think he'll give them incremental benefits like during in game because he's a good play caller and he's a good adjuster.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to help them win games in that division, in that conference where things are going to be a little bit trickier. That's all. So I'm with you. 8-1's crazy. So I got 2.
I want no part of it.
We both have 2.
D'Amico Ryans and Vrabel for you. I'm on Steichen and Vrabel.
We're just spraying the AFC South.
Well, because I think it's a good situation for him. And Steichen at 28-1, you're gonna regret not being on.
But it does seem like the NFC North, easy path to win the division.
Right. I just don't
AFC
think
South,
the pricing makes sense on the NFC North.
AFC South, Jags are clear favorites, but maybe you could even play all 3 of the other. Maybe I play D'Amico Ryans, Steichen, and Vrabel, and just fade the Jags that way. And then I think we probably have to, like, maybe we should have some investment in the NFC South. Is it wrong that we have no NFC South?
Todd Bowles 75-1. I'm sprinkling it, I guess. But they were 8-9. But I think to your point when we were talking Rodgers, you lose Tom Brady, you bring it back with Baker. I'm taking a small sprinkle on Todd Bowles 75-1.
I would probably write in
Todd Bowles train's leaving, Ryan.
I'd probably write in Bruce Arians replaces Todd Bowles and wins the fucking award. Yeah, I don't know. I very badly want to bet on Arthur Smith, but I do feel like he's not going to get any respect, even if he wins the division.
Yeah, and it's only 25-1.
Yeah, but I mean, this market's. Todd Bowles is the outlier, Sean. Why is
outlier
he 75-1? What has he done that he's 75-1?
Yeah, I like the Todd Bowles.
Maybe he's pro CTE or something.
And then for comeback player of the year, I'm on Hamlin and Stafford. You're on Stafford and Darnold.
I don't hate your Stafford angle. Darnold, strong play.
Thank you. Hey, we got a big week of shows coming up, including if you're listening to this on Tuesday night, we will be back Wednesday AM live on the YouTube. Make sure you that subscribe button. Talking to NBA picks with our NBA Gambling Podcast hosts. We're going to check in later in the week with our man, aka Colombian, aka Cartel Colby, down Southern Hemisphere. Ryan, our first guest from the Southern Hemisphere.
Can I say?
I feel like we've had a couple.
I'm assuming Colby will be sitting at a patio table with a telephone, just like the Scarface cartel leader. I need Colby to record himself.
Those videos are pretty Scarface like. But he's going to be calling in, and then
when you have a wall around your compound, it's a strong statement.
Strong statement. So we're talking USFL, XFL championship game as well. I'm sure we're going to get a best ball draft in here. And and
react to the schedule release.
And the schedule release.
Oh. Nothing like doing
participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Sean, we'll do our first best ball and have our first week 17 double stack with bringbacks.
Love it. For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
I think we might have to sprinkle Josh McDaniels at 40-1 too. That is intriguing.
No thanks. Kramer, let it ride.